my stands from holding my phone has now snapped off, so I can no longer use this. It was very stiff, and it actually is my microphone stand. Now, I don't know if any of you in lockdown like to sing song, but I enjoyed the sing song, and I did many sing songs online. I even did competitions. And I will just put you a little small clip, because I'm not sure whether YouTube will allow it because it's music, but I'll put a tiny clip here so that you can see. Dance is all I wanna do, so won't you dance? I'm standing here with you, why won't you move? I'll get inside your groove, cause I'm on fire, 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 fire. It hurts when you get too close, and baby it hurts. If love is really good, you just want more. Even if it throws you to fire, fire, fire. Oh, the lover. And I'll just freeze it, and you can have a little bit of a laugh. So this is broken off anyway, so I've got a new camera situation, but the issue is it doesn't hold my phone properly. It's fine, the stand is extendable, I can have it short, I can have it long. I've even got, excuse my itchy nose today, I've even got a ring light, so I can have my, I can have different lighting. That's great, it's wonderful. But it doesn't hold my phone, and if I have it certain way, the phone just falls off, and I'm so paranoid about it falling off. And this light isn't very good, is it? So paranoid about it falling off. So anyway, bye. There we go. So we are going to talk about clippers. Oh, little Shih Tzu's just going past. I don't groom that one, but he definitely needs a little haircut, it seems. So I'm going to talk about some of the clippers that I've got, and I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to try and move the camera forward to my clipper area, where you can have a look at some of my clippers, and hopefully it won't fall out of the holder, so bear with me. It stayed where it is. Okay, I think this is as close as I'm going to get to my clipper situation. So I have many different ones, and I'm going to start with the small little Ascalap one that I have. I actually won this in a grooming competition. I'm not really very good at grooming competitions. Some people it really suits. It just didn't suit me. I didn't have a very good reception, it wasn't a very good experience, and it just wasn't for me. Although I did meet some lovely people, it's a very difficult thing to get into. You know, you need, I've got a very itchy nose, been cleaning in here this morning because my dog wasn't able to come, so I had a good blitz, and I've thrown up lots of hair which is itching my nose, and I'm going to go back to competition because I've gone off there because I itched my nose, and now I've got to try and remember what I was saying. So how my brain works. Anyway, yeah, so I won this. I mean the competition world, it's I find it's very difficult for me. It's getting hold of the dogs, and you know, ideally they need to be your own dogs so that you can, you know, prepare them on a regular basis, you know, be able to grow their coat and
keep their coat in really good condition. And for me, my dogs are all short, practical grooms, so they don't really get to the point where they're in a long style that I'm maintaining, which you might see in the competition ring. They're not, it's just not practical. They look beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of management for the owner and for the groomer, and it was just a difficult balance. If you've got your own dogs, it's a lot easier. And I know that the people, the very successful people in the competition world use their own dogs. They might show them, and they're maintaining them on a regular basis, and that's the dog's lifestyle, and they're used to that. It's difficult when if you're using customers' dogs, because people can let you down, and it's a lot of money to for a class, so, and a lot of the times you may have to travel as well, so there's all the cost involved. So for me, it just didn't really work out for me. Wasn't really my thing. I also had a go at the show ring with my poodle, which I'll put on there, and again, he didn't like it. He loved the strutting around, and he loved to be groomed and everything, but he didn't like to be touched by strange people. And even though I took him as a baby and we went to Ringcraft and we tried to he just did not like it. And the more that we did it, the more he disliked it. It's just his personality. He likes who he likes, and so for judges feeling him in like this, it's not ideal. So I took him out the show ring and we didn't do it anymore. And like I say, there's all different levels of pet groomer. I'm a pet groomer, and there's people that like to do other things and specialise in other things. They specialise in show trims or hand stripping or Asian fusion styles, or nice fluffy teddy bear styles, which have to be maintained on a regular basis. If you're going to go for something like that, you're talking a four weekly schedule to keep on top of them, if you're not keeping them on on top of them at home. So and obviously having groomer friends that have got dogs that kept in them styles, for me, I feel that there's a lot of skill involved in just being a pet groomer, because you're not only I felt that my judges are my customers. So if I'm doing a good job, and my customers are coming back, I'm doing okay. And that's all that really matters to me, that I've got a business, my customers like what I do, the dogs are comfortable, they're kept comfortable on a regular basis, you're managing behaviour, you're helping with behaviour. That in itself is massive, and you can't always see that in the competition world, because the dogs are so they're handled on a regular basis, and they're used to that whole thing, whereas dog groomers all around the world, their skills are being very careful, clipping off a matted coat, doing a dog that you've never done before and doing it well and managing the behaviour, and that is what we're sort of judged on with the customer, and my customers are my judges. So if they keep coming back and they like what I do, then that's good enough for me. And hats off to those people that can go time and time and go and be judged by very good groomers. It just wasn't for me. So I like my practical stuff, And it's very hard when you're a new groomer, when you'll look at the competition world and you'll be like, wow, and it's quite overwhelming. Just to be able to do a nice basic groom is good enough. You know, that's the majority of what we do is short practical pet grooms. You know, the majority of us pet groomers, that is what we're doing. And behind closed doors, even those competition people are doing manageable haircuts for people on a regular basis. So I'm sure they are. So anyway, enough of that. I think I missed something I was going to say there. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But yeah, that's how my brain works. I'm thinking about that, and then I'm imagining that, and then it comes together. But yeah, and this is another reason why I designed this channel, is because there are so many people wanting to do our job, and they love the idea of it, and then realise how difficult it is. We are not a regulated profession, so basically anybody can do this job. They can, they don't even have to go on a 2-week course. They could just look on the YouTube and start tomorrow as a dog groomer at home and shed. That is a scary thing. So the more awareness that we make, and the more people that we help, it just helps, doesn't it, as a whole? There's a lot of scary videos on YouTube, and I'm not saying that what I'm doing is absolutely perfect, but I know I'm doing it safely and kindly, and that is everything. So we'll get back to clippers, shall we? Honestly, I've got hairs floating around me. Oh, look, they're all on my chest. Look, they're everywhere. They're just float in the air. Anyway, clippers. So these are my Asculap that I did a grooming competition with, and that was my prize. I came 3rd in my class, and if I can find the picture, I'll put the picture on there. And it did actually go in a magazine, and I was pulling a funny face, and I bet thinking, what's up with her? So yeah, that was many years ago, but I travelled quite far for that one. I think it was Newcastle, as in Geordie, Newcastle. It was far, and it was a poodle. Was he a cockapoo or a poodle? I can't remember if he was a cockapoo or a poodle, but I turned him into a fluffy thing. I don't know. So that was my thing, and I've bought these Asculap are an amazing company. I don't think they come here anymore. I went to a grooming competition, Master Groom, and they were no longer coming. So that was one of my prizes, but for that one. But this is a different grooming competition, and he was giving away Asculap clippers, and it was a corded one, and he gave me the clippers. That was another competition that I came 2nd, I think. It was like a Asian fusion with my own Bichon at the time. I'll try and put a picture on there. That was just for fun. And he gave me a clipper, and he gave me blades, and everything. So they are a great company, Asculap, and I love their Asculap blades. My partner's just rolled up. He's laughing at me through the window. So these are just a normal mini clipper. You can just get the heads, and if you look on there, there's a battery thing on there. It tells you how much battery. It comes in a little docket station. I need a new blade for that, so I haven't been using that, but it is fully charged. It also comes with slide-on blades. Are these slide-on blades for this? I'm sure they are. Yes, they are. they have slide-on blades. Now, I don't like the plastic blades. I don't feel like I connect with the hair. I prefer the metal ones. I feel like I glide through the hair better than the plastic, and I'll talk a bit more about that. But they do come with combs as well, a full set of different ones, and you do need to use it on the one setting, so the shortest setting. They've got 10, 15 and 30, so the 30 being the one. Slide it on and you use it like that. I've never used the combs with this. I really have just used this for inside of feet and things, but you know, I could have sewed it on, but I quite like it. I like the way it feels in my hand. I like the charging thing, so I can see, but I always keep it fully charged, so as a backup clipper. So that's my Askilap. Now my favourite is my what I call my bravura. This is a lithium battery, so it's that also has a battery life on there, and it comes with a little when you're not using it. It comes with a little cover as well. So that one I use quite a lot for everything. I use it for full grooms and everything, and I use my slide-on combs with that. Again, on the one, this is actually a 5-in-1 blade, but the main ones being 10, 15 and 30. I tend to use it on the middle setting for inside pads because it's a metal blade, and it is very, on the one it is very, very short. You have to be careful you don't graze. So when you're doing inside feet, you need to do it very gently, be very cautious, especially if you've got a dog with very sensitive feet. Always do the longer first, and then if you think you can go a little bit down, maybe to the middle setting. But I try not to do the one setting inside feet because it is really, really unforgiving. And I use the comb attachments. So the comb attachments, we've got, see, I've flown up hair and now it's lying on top of here. So these are the comb attachments that I use with both of my Wahl kind of clipper. They're exactly the same. I'll show you that one in a minute. But those are the two Wahl ones. They're pretty much the same. They use the same blade head. The only one being is that one is a charging battery, and that one's a lithium battery on a charger. So I do find I get more power with that one, and it lasts a lot longer. So my comb attachments are then put on. So people call them different ones. In America, they even call that the zero. You know, I just call them numbers. Being I start with the shortest one and work my way up. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 being the longest, and that's just. And then you've got your colours. You've got your colours. So a lot of us groomers will say, "Oh, I use a peach comb." The peach comb. Peach comb is my number 4. So, and they're just because they're numbered. They're just, that's shortest, isn't it? That's longest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So then, and obviously, you just pick the length that your required length, whatever you're using. A tip though, if you are going to use comb attachments on your dog, whether you're a professional groomer, you'll know this, or you should do. If you're a pet groomer, a pet owner, sorry, your coat must be very well prepared. This is a very fine, so you can get different blades, but this is the fine one. This is fine. So if you're using that on a dirty coat, so if you were trying to take coat off a dirty dog with a comb attachment with that blade is not going to last long at all, and you will blunt it. Use them on clean, prepared, well prepared, no knots, so we can get our comb from the skin all the way out with ease. And we'll glide, the combs will glide through, the comb attachments will glide through the coat. And I pretty much use these all the time. The other way of using your comb attachment, like that, is on the professional clipper. Some people use 10, some people use 15, some people use 30, but it's the short blade that you're using, and then your comb attachment fits over the top, and it's like that. Now I've got big hands, and I feel like I can use these a lot easier than them. They're heavy, they're bulky. I feel like I do a better job with this. And again, your coat's got to be well prepared. So some people go, I could never do a full dog with that clipper. Well, go back on my videos and you'll see that is what I never use this. Don't use this at all ever. So what I actually mean there is I don't use my commercial clipper with the 10, 15 or 30 and my comb attachments. I purely use the Bravura clipper with the slide-on comb attachments. But don't forget, I am doing the same dogs that are well looked after, and I'm not, you never get through mats with that. You would have to use a commercial clipper with a commercial blade. So I hope this is all making sense to you, and you haven't nodded off already. So where are we? So there's your comb attachment, and you get comb attachments exactly the same as these. The only difference is they clip on, they hook on, yeah, and they slide on. So I'll show you. Slide on, just like that, and you just pull them off. That will not go on that, doesn't go on that, that goes on that. The snap-on blades, we call these snap-on blades, and the reason why they're called snap-on blades is because they snap on. Yes way. So that's a number 10. So it literally slots on to that little thing here. Slots on. Slots on. And it slots off. You just push the button there. So again, you're on, push the button, you're off. And we have all different blades that we use on the clippers. I'll get my clipper guide down in just a sec. Yeah, I'll do that in a sec. We'll talk about these first, and then we'll... So, that is my Ascalate clipper, that's my Brav, and the same with the Moser. It's exactly the same as the Brav. It is worth knowing as well that the mini trimmers don't heat up like the commercial clippers, making it safer for around faces and feet and delicate areas. This is my arco. Some people call it moser, arco, whatever Wahl. Same, you just have replacement heads. Yeah, same again, it's exactly the same head. Use these combs and exactly the same, obviously turn that to the one. Slide on, exactly the same as that, same. The only difference being is that is a battery that's in a charging docket here. So you get 2 batteries, depending on where you're getting your machine from. So I've got one that's in and that's one that's charging, and then I swap them. So you are getting a lot of charge, just that I find this one charges quicker and I get a little bit long, and it just seem a little bit better on the motorage, if there is such a thing. So we've got Asculap, Brav, Arco, which is just the same as that. I've also got this Spectra. I love this one. Now this has got a 5-in-1 blade. So I believe 10, 15 and 30 and a 9 on this blade. But you just take these off. Oops. You can replace the heads, which I need to replace this. I haven't replaced it yet. But you can get the short one, and you can also get a 7F, I believe. I'm not sure if they have other lengths. I haven't looked into that, but I do know that you can get a 7F and you can get the short one. What the great thing about this is, so turn it on. I don't know if you can see on there, but it gives you, you can turn it up and down. So you hear it? So if you've got a really nervous dog and you wanted to turn the sound down as much as possible, you can do that with this. It tells me how much time that I've got left on this battery life, and it says I've got 190 minutes left on there. And also, it's a little bit off, I think, that there we go. It was just tilted slightly. And if you watch the blade, it goes up in set. So we're gonna turn it on. So there's the short one, and it'll go. Watch the blade. You see it moving? See it go? The blade's on the way out, so that's why it's sounding a little bit funny. But you can switch it with your thumb. So while you're using it, you can quickly just change the setting on it. I can use this on the highest setting because I don't feel like I will graze, whereas I'll be very cautious with this one, with the very short on the one on that one. But with the one on this one, I feel that I can use it no problem because it's ceramic. It's a titanium black titanium blade in there, can you see? And it just feels a lot safer to use. At first it felt a little bit strange, but you get used to using it because you think, oh, I'm never going to cut anything with that. But that blade has lasted me a long time. I've had it. I wish I knew when I got it. I have to look back. If I look back and see when I got it, I'll put it up on there. But I know I've had this clipper for a long time. I think it was 165. These you can get relatively cheap. I think the Brav was 165. Obviously that one was free. I'm not sure how much that was. You can get these for 100. So I think this was 165. But it's great. It feels nice in the hand. It's quiet. Obviously you've got the settings that you can move up and down. You get replaceable heads. It shows you how much time you've got to use it, and it's just a lovely clipper. I'm lost actually I am quite lost without it. I do need to get another blade for that, but As most us self-employed groomers at the moment, we've had our tax bill to pay, so I've had to pay my tax before I'm able to purchase anything else. I've just purchased all my, I'd run completely out of my, well, I need a smidgen of stuff for my disinfectant, so I've just updated all my disinfectants, so they will be coming this week, and I will do a video on the cleaning that I do, because it's most important in your salon area. So yeah, so that's the Spectra. Like I say, it does do a 7F, so I would like to get, when I renew, I might get the shorter one and the 7F, and we can see how that one is. But I really like this one, really do like that one. So they're all pretty much my mini clippers, well, my smallish clippers. And then obviously, then I've got my, oh, it also tells me as well, it flashes up when it needs oil as well. It'll go beep, 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 and an oil thing will come up in red on there to tell me to oil it, which is a really good thing. It's smart, it's in a nice lie down little slot-in charging docket. So yeah, it's really, yeah, it tells you battery level, oil signal. Yeah, it's good. So, and the other one I've got is a little kiss clipper, which I believe that it has a sister that's slightly bigger, which is probably a bit similar to that one. I haven't seen it, but I do believe it, and I do believe there is one. I'll put all the clippers that I've mentioned today in the description, so you can go and look them up and price them up if you're interested in any of them. I'm not sure, I think these are about 70-ish, I think. I think they were a bit more expensive when I bought mine, but I think they've come down in price. I'm not sure. But these are very good. So this here tells me the speed, so I can go up with the speed or down with the speed, like that. That one there. It has a little charging thing. Just plug it in. It's in one of those two-prong things, but it gives you an adapter with it, and it comes in a lovely cute box. Let's just see. Little cute box, which I keep it in there all the time. It does come with some combs as well. Oh, let me unplug that. It comes with some little, she says, I've never used it, so there. Comes with some little comb, so you can use a little comb. It just clips on. If you need. Never use the comb side, but ideally I use these for inside of little feet, or if there's a little tiny mat that's hanging off on for dear life, you know, inside a foot, because sometimes you have, you know, you get a lot of hard mats that are inside feet. Sometimes you don't want to go in too much with the short one, because you don't want to graze the foot, but this is quite easy to use, doesn't seem to, you know, doesn't worry me that I'm going to graze the foot with that. So ideal if it's small inside feet, small little tiny places, and they do recommend these for cats as well. I know the lady that sells them, you know, she does whole cats with these, so obviously it is a very short blade, so ideally just for matted cats. I don't think I would want that on a regular basis, but yeah, that's ideal little clipper to keep in your kit. So, and like I say, it's got you can charge it up. and I'll just keep it all in its little box there. Right, so I also do have one of these, and you can get these quite easily on Amazon or other, selling, if you Google, small clippers with the ceramic head. Ideally, for pet owners, if you wanted to do inside a foot, because we, as groomers, we're used to using its clippers on a regular basis, so we always use caution. So when you're learning, or you just want to do something, you would be safer with something like this just for inside. I wouldn't recommend this for clipping off all your dog. I know they do it on the internet and you see them cutting your trunks off, but they're an ideal little thing if you just wanted something cheap and cheerful and safe to use. That you've got, can't get to the groomers, and you've noticed that there's a little mat inside a foot. You could use something like this, relatively cheap to get. I've lost the charger, so it now doesn't work, but you can turn that one up and down as well. Can you see? And they're relatively cheap to get. I don't know how you pronounce that one, but when I had it, it was a very handy little tool to have, and it was quite quiet as well. So for a pet owner, if you just wanted to do little bits of things, and you're just getting used to using a type of clipper, then maybe something like that would be, ideal. You're not going to cause too much damage. I do have the arco. That's no. I have got other ones. I like the purple one, but that started. You can see, I'll just put a little bit of insulation tape up. They do. They're the same things, but I just kept the shells because if I ever break whatever, I can transfer the battery in the head to that and make myself one up. So I always keep them as backup. You always got to have backup. So yeah, so that's all my small and mini clippers, and then I'll go over to the actual main clippers that I use. Right, Molly Moo Moo. This is Molly Wiggles. It's just a quick insert because I'm not sure whether I've said the different uses of this small clipper. So I just wanted to add this in. So these are the short ones that I use. So this one I generally use with my comb attachments because it's a little bit more powerful on the one setting. Now you'll see that the settings are on here and you can move them up and down. So 1, 2, 3. It is actually a 5-in-1, so you can actually move it to these different settings here. So, but I generally use it on the 1, 2, 3. So another use so I'm going to put that out of the way because that is generally the one that I use with my comb attachments. So on a clean coat. This one I use for inside pads, generally on the 2, which is a middle setting there, and also little intricate bits of clipper work that haven't really caught with my main clipper. Say if I was doing a 7F for instance, I can switch that to the 3, which would be the 10 setting, and I just do little bits of hair that I've missed off. I can, so not only inside pads as a 2, but there might be like little bits of, hair on the groom that I can just neaten up. There might be certain little areas that I haven't got to, which I can just look for little bits that I need to trim off. There might be little bits around the bottom there, just to make my clipper work a little bit neater. You know, that's very handy for sort of an after clip, if you know what I mean, if I haven't quite caught bits and pieces. The Spectra I generally use for inside feet, but I have been using this one of late because I need a new blade, as I was explaining. So, and also with all these clippers, I can use them if I was going to do a really short clip on an ear. I could use them for poodles' feet. I generally use them on the 2 setting, the middle setting, so it's not so severe. Obviously bearing in mind how sensitive the dog's face is. So poodles' faces and feet, like I say, depending on how sensitive they are. If they're very sensitive, we might not shave the face at all, might have a different style of face, or I might use my 7F. So we're just assessing each different dog. So I just wanted to put this quick insert in so that you know fully what I use these mini trimmers for. So not only do I use them for inside feet, face and feet, full grooms with the comb attachment slide on, I pretty much use them for a whole heap of things. These are actually very good for cats, because obviously you can turn the sound down. The only thing I would suggest though is that, and I have spoken to other groomers that groom cats, and they feel that the blade doesn't last them long, because as we know, if we're clipping off matted hair which is dirty, it has an effect on our blades. So and we can't always bath every cat. Well, I feel that, and I know a few other cat groomers, you know, don't necessarily bath every cat, because, you know, a lot of the cat groomers that I know, it's all tolerance based. So, you know, we're going to keep the stress levels down. But I don't really use that for matted cats. I might use it a little tiny bit if I need to get into it initially. Might just get into the little mat, because I still do the odd matted cat, but then I use my commercial clipper generally on a 10, if I've got to do, you know, severe matting, or a regular clip I might use a 7F, but that's just my personal preference and what I like to do. You might do different. So I just wanted to make it clear of all the different uses, you know, face, feet, intricate work that I can't do with my general clipper. I can use it for full grooms as well. I think that's generally why my clippers have lasted so long, is because I'm using my mini trimmers quite a lot, and I use my scissors a lot, so my general blades aren't getting that much wear and tear. And like I say, I look after things, so we can look at how to look and maintain things in another video. But this is just a quick insert because I wasn't quite sure whether I'd covered it all. Hopefully I have. We'll get to the next part. So the main clippers that I use are my Heiniger, and I've got an Oster 3000 dye lithium. So lithium, different type of battery, seems to be longer lasting. I've had a new battery because these do go, and I thought my clipper was broken and it just needed a new battery. Now the batteries in themselves are like £70. And it comes with a little charging docket with a light on, so that just sits inside there. It is a heavier clipper. Use again, snap-on blades. I've had it for a long time. I like it. It's a powerful clipper. I get lots of charge in that. It's never let me down other than the battery. So Oster one, but it depends. It's personal preference really, your professional clipper. I prefer cordless ones. Obviously they do come corded as well. So I'll just put that on there. And the other two is I like my Heinigers. They are nice and slim. They're lovely to hold, lightweight. That one's the sapphire and that one's the swish one. It's a little bit swish. So obviously you can have these just with the battery. So it comes with a battery. Now it comes with the station. I don't know if you can see there, but there's a little station that it comes with. It comes with two batteries. So one battery's in the clipper and one's on the station there. They do, these two are ready for the knackers yard. I do need new batteries. This one is a new one. That's a new battery. They're just not holding the charge at all. They're a lovely clipper. They're nice and slim to hold, lightweight, and like I say, it is personal preference, but you just have to, if you go to say Crufts or a Champ show or something, if you go along to these, you can go to your local Champ show if you look up on the internet, because there's a lot of stalls on there that sell to the dogs that are, because obviously there's a lot of trimming breeds, poodles and such like, and they do have stalls there on the bigger Champ shows where they do sell equipment. Obviously Crufts as well is one of your major ones for sort of everybody, and there's loads of different sellers on there selling clippers, and you can go feel it in your hand. They'll have a stand where they'll have all the different clippers, and you'll be able to feel them in your hand and see what balance, how you feel it balances in your hand. You know, I've got big, strong, huge hands. So I like a small, lightweight clipper. It's just the way I like. You know, you may have small, like petite hands, and you might want something else. You might want something a bit more shapely or whatever. When you're first holding, it takes a while to get used to clippers, and your hand, because they're not used to using these type of things all the time, especially when you're learning, you will get cramp and stuff. So, you know, a lot of the books will show you how to sort of look after your hands and watch how you're holding, you know, scissors and things like that. So that's for another time, but it is all about the balance of the clippers. So with the Heiniger as well, so you can also have them as a battery, but you can also have them as a corded. They don't come with a cord. I think I bought my cord separately, but some of them may include the cord as well. And it looks just like the battery, but it's on a cord, so you can have it. So if you run out of battery, you can always cord it if you wanted to. So and I like them. For me, they're nice, lightweight. You know, they're durable. They've lasted me a long time. This one was a second-hand one. As long as you keep them maintenanced, you know, you need to send them off for maintenance every so often. You know, you need your bits replacing in here so that it's running efficiently. And obviously, you know, there's blade drives, and I won't go into that, but there's blade drives and things that need to be maintained, so that when you're using your clippers and your blades are going to work in harmony. Sometimes when things aren't working so well in here, you know, you may have had your blade sent off and then you put it onto your clipper and it's not working, but it could be something that's going on inside here. But I mean, since I've had them, I think I've had them, I've had maintenance once. You can quite easily change things yourself if you look them up on the internet, but you can, you know, send them off. This is why I like different ones, so if I do need to send one off for whatever reason, I have got a backup. You've got to have backup, but they're nice and quiet, and for me, you can get all sorts of different ones. Obviously, I had a problem with my Wahl one, which I really wanted to use because everybody was raving about them, how nice they were. But I do know of a few people that have had a few issues, so we'll send that off and we'll see how we get on. But for me, my Oster and my Heiniger are my go-tos. There are other clippers on the market. These are just the ones that I personally feel, this is my personal choice, what I like to use because of my big hands and what have you. But a lot of the time, I use my comb attachments on my bruv, and the only blades really that I use on this are my 10, my 7F, my 5F, my 4F and my 3F. Those are the only blades basically, if I'm doing trims on those blades, they're the blades that I would use on my dogs. So, and then when you're using, you can obviously still use comb attachments with these, but the short blades, so 10, 15 and 30. And you have to make sure that all these blades, whether it be Oster, Askelapp, anything that's a snap-on blade. So let me just show you, for instance, because people get a bit hung up about it. So that one's an Oster. That one's an Oster as well. Let's get something else. Right, so we've got an Askelapp. There's an Askelapp 7, right? So you don't have to have Heiniger blades, snap-on blades to go on that. You can use any. So that's an Oster going on a Heiniger. Fits, works, right? That's an Askelapp blade going on a Heiniger, works. I've got an Oster clipper with an Askelapp blade, works, yeah? So any of these snap-on blades, whether it be Andis, Wahl, Oster, Askelapp, just name a few, they will all go on these commercial clippers with the snap-on situation, yeah? So don't worry about that, because I know people think that because they've got an Andis clipper or a Wahl clipper, they have to use the same blade, but they don't. You don't have to. Have I got, what have I got? This one's just, for instance, a Master Clip 4F. It will go on. Don't worry about that. So the only difference being is that when you want to use comb attachments, you need the 10, 15 and 30 with the hook on ones, and if you want to use the comb attachment on the slide on ones, on the mini ones, you need the slide on. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now I'll just get my clipper blade guide down, which is really handy if you're showing customers the different lengths on the short practical grooms. Bear with me a second. So a lot of customers I've noticed over the years can get offended if you say to them that you need to have the dog cut down short. Now, and that's basically because of the condition of the coat. So what I always said is I'll cut it down and I'll start again. I'll save what I can, if I can, but we will have to go short. and then they're like short, and they just think it's going to be bold. It's going to look like a Chinese crested. If you don't know what a Chinese crested is, I'll put a picture on there. So I put myself in the owner's mind, and I think they're going to think it's bold. We do try and keep something, but it's not always possible. And we don't say we're going to clip off your dog when it doesn't need clipping off, because it's no good for our business. If we're sending out clipped off dogs, nobody is going to notice a clip off dog. They're going to notice a nice, short, practical groom that looks really nice, and probably ask the owner where they had the dog groomed. And when the owner gets to that understanding that the coat's got to be maintained, and they've had that scenario where they've had to have it cut down, there are people that will continue to do that. They leave it and then they get cut, they leave it, then they get it cut. But the majority of people that I've come across, it might have to happen once or twice, and then they're like, yeah, we need to get on board with a regular schedule so we don't have to do this, and our dog doesn't look like a Chinese crested. So anyway, when not so much now, because my customers have got a regular schedule, and I know what length they like, and they might even say to me, can you do it a bit shorter this time, just because they've got a bit of trust in me that I'm not going to make their dog look like a Chinese crested. So to bear in mind when we're talking about lengths, so with the comb attachments you can get a nice longer style. But if we look at the blades, because the blades work differently than the combs, so we can look at a comb, say for instance a 1, and see that that's really short, isn't it? So you're talking, what are we talking? 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters, yeah. So, and then you've got your longest comb attachment that you can have, which is going to be 25. 3.25. So you can have, the different lengths depending on the length of the comb attachment. I am getting to my point right now. So you've got your lengths from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 combs. So going up to the 8 being the longest one. I'm not sure who that is. I thought I had 5 minutes. Maybe not, we'll see. I'll say it's really quick. So then when we have to move over from comb attachments, yes, it is my daughter that's just turned up. Just doing this. Yeah. We'll come back to it. And we'll finish that in part 2. See you in a bit.